A man who does these things is consciously or subconsciously keeping his options open. He is not fully invested in you. Now, if you want to know what to look out for, then stick around because it's all coming up right now. Hi, welcome back to The Vibration Vault. My name is Alia Zaray. I help women all over the world navigate their love life in a more feminine way. So if that sounds like something you want to do, then make sure to subscribe to stick around. Okay, let's begin. So the first thing is, he is putting himself in a position where he is spending one-on-one time with another woman. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I trust my partner. He can spend one-on-one time alone with another woman. It's not about whether or not you trust him, it's more about why would he want to do that when he could be spending that one-on-one time alone with you? Even though he might not have intentions of developing a connection with this woman he is spending one-on-one alone time with, what it is really suggesting is that if something were to happen and feelings were to develop, he wouldn't be opposed to it. And this is because he is the one that is voluntarily putting himself in the position of spending prolonged periods of time alone with this woman. This is a massive no-go, especially if there is alcohol involved. This applies to girl best friends, this applies to women in the office. No man of yours needs a one-on-one with another woman. It's never okay, not in a relationship and not in marriage. Let me give you an example. Let's say he says he's staying late at work because he is mentoring and coaching another woman. There is absolutely no reason why that coaching and mentoring cannot be done within the scheduled office hours, a time when everyone else is in the office too. There's absolutely no reason for him to be meeting her alone. In a group setting is more than fine. That is okay. You see, when a man does do that, he is signaling consciously or subconsciously that he is open to something developing. He is open to something happening. Because a man who truly loves you and only wants you and only option for him is you would not put himself in the position of temptation. And he also wouldn't put himself in the position of the possibility of temptation to arise from someone else, from another woman towards him. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't want the temptation, the validation from another woman being interested in him. And he definitely doesn't want to be the person who has played a role in creating that attraction towards him. A man whose only option is you is going to respect you enough to draw the line when is necessary with other women. He will want to implement these standards and boundaries for himself and for you to protect the purity of your relationship. He's not going to be the man who wants to put himself in the position of, oh, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. Cheating and developing feelings for someone else is not a mistake. It never is, because you've always put yourself in the position to allow that to happen, which means that he's keeping his options open. A feminine woman is not going to tolerate that. You're not going to stick around to see how it pans out, to see whether or not she ends up being interested in him or whether or not he ends up being interested in her. The next thing that you're going to look out for is he is keeping his relationships separate. Now, what this means is he is keeping his romantic relationship with you separate from other aspects in his life. This could be things like work, friends, family. And when a man does this, he wants to maintain that flexibility and freedom within his choices, which means he's keeping his options open. He doesn't want to come out and introduce you in case there is another option, a better option to him that arises that he wants to pursue. Don't get me wrong, your independence in a relationship is advised, and I do advise that your partner and you both have your own separate identities within the relationship, which means doing things independently. However, there shouldn't be such a divide that you feel like a secret, like you haven't met any of his friends. Let me give you an example. Let's say there's a work party at his work and he has a +1. However, he hasn't told you that he has a +1. So he ends up going to this work party, and then later on down the line you find out that all the other wives were there, all the other girlfriends were there, and you were the only one that wasn't invited. A lot of women think that I want to be in my feminine energy, I'm not going to get involved, it probably wasn't that deep, I'm just going to leave it. However, this is not what a strong feminine woman would do. A strong feminine woman would recognize this and would be suspicious by this and would question him and be like, why would you not invite me? to this event. If the reason he gives you is not sufficient, then you need to be willing to walk away. What is he hiding? The next thing that you need to look out for is he keeps his plans flexible, especially with you. Now, what this means is he often keeps plans open-ended or very last minute. He might blame this on being busy, but really what he's doing is priming you, so you start to believe that cancelled and changed plans are just part of normalcy with him. But let me tell you one thing, there is nothing normal about this. A man who is flexible and keeps his plans open with you, open-ended, and nothing is set in stone, plans are often cancelled, is a man who is keeping his options open. First of all, if a man is doing this, he doesn't value your time. He thinks that you are going to be always available for him at his disposal. And if your man is doing this, he's more likely to be the type that is keeping his options open. Because should another option, like another woman, want to hang out with him, then he can just cancel on you and go and see her instead. A high-value woman recognizes and shuts down a relationship with a man who is showing these signs. If he's unwilling to recognize this behavior, he's not willing to understand and admit that this behavior is not respectful, and he's unwilling to make a difference and make a change, then a feminine woman in her feminine energy is not going to tolerate that. A woman in her feminine energy is not going to tolerate a man who is not respecting her, who isn't respecting the fact he has the privilege of being able to pursue her and is not pursuing her correctly. Also, a feminine woman is happy to walk away. She's not going to beg him to change. She will mention it once. If nothing changes, she will just silently back away. There's no begging, there's no crying, there's no making a big song and dance about it. You need to know if a man treats you like this, it has absolutely nothing to do with you and absolutely everything to do with him. It just magnifies and shows the low quality and low value type of man that he is and how you have just dodged a bullet entirely. So it has nothing to do with your value as a woman. Why didn't he recognize my value? You just have to go where your value is seen and appreciated. The one thing that you're not going to do is start crying and begging for him to change, because now he holds that type of power over you, over your emotions, and now he knows how triggered you are by it, and you cannot be triggered by it because you are the prize. The power of you walking away unscathed, so powerful. It's so powerful to walk away and be like, okay, well, that's your loss, darling. There are so many great men who will treat you and love you and adore you exactly the way that you want and need to be adored. So that is a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to stick around for more content like this. And until next time, mwah, I love you. Bye.